Okay, we're now joined by the reigning and defending NASCAR Cup Series champion, Ryan Blaney. If you have a question for Ryan, raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. We'll start with Jordan and then go to John.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. A lot of drivers' teams come here, I don't say apprehensive, but they look at circumstantial, et cetera, right? Kind of a crapshoot. What is your mindset coming here, and do you and Team Penske look at this not that way because of how well you guys consistently put yourselves in position, not necessarily to always get the wins or high finishes, but at least to opportunities to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had some success here as a group for a long time, and I think there's a number of factors that go into it. And then I don't know. I think we see these races as big opportunities. For us, we've come to look forward to these events. I know some people come out and they say, I don't look forward to these events, and it's not a good mindset to have, so I think we just all, how do we maximize, the weekend, and whether it's here, Daytona or Atlanta, and how do we work together as a team, between Joey, Austin, and myself, and Harrison. How do we, try to support each other and try to do the best we can for our groups. And I feel like we do a better job at teamwork here than anybody else. I feel like we constantly look for each other. We constantly have each other's backs. And that's what you need here. And I think that's what we've done to be successful at these racetracks. So no, we don't look at it as, Talladega, you know that things aren't fully in your control, and that's just a given. And you just put that out of the way and just say, hey, how do we execute this race as good as we can? And understand that if things do happen to us that isn't in our control, well, that's just the way it is. And it stinks, but it's just not anything you can really stew over. So I think our group has a really good mindset when it comes to these places, good or bad, and you never know what the outcome is going to be.
The narrative here for this race is, it's anybody's race to win. Anybody in the field can win. But if you look at the stats, since 2014, NASCAR went to the knockout format. Only one non-playoff driver has actually won this race. So by that stat, this really isn't a crapshoot. So I'm curious, do you view it as a crapshoot, or is this kind of do you look at it as there's a select few guys that really can win this race?
I mean, I think the opportunity for a potential surprise winner is higher here than other places, right? Just how it is. But I don't see it as a complete crapshoot. Like, you have your guys that run really well at these racetracks, and you have your guys that maybe struggle a little bit as far as decision making and all that stuff. And I don't think it's a secret that, like I said, some folks excel at this type of racing. I think Denny's great, Brad's great, Joey's awesome. For years and years, those guys have found themselves at the front of these things, at the end of them, and that's just not all by chance. I feel like if they stay clean and don't get tore up, they're always at the front of these things at the end, and it's just how they, kind of strategize their race. So, I mean, a small percentage of it is a crapshoot, just because you could be riding around. Like, I look at Daytona has been a crapshoot for me for the last 3 years. I don't think I've finished a race at Daytona in 2 years, just getting tore up in someone else's mess. But when we do stay out of the trouble, we run pretty good. So, no, I think you have your folks that are comfortable with it and they do well, and then others that might struggle a little bit more.
Go to John.
John Crane, NASCAR.com. When you look at last year's Talladega one, that sort of kick-started your championship run. What's the mentality this year, not only to defend that title, but also to win here potentially again?
I mean, I go into every weekend, our whole group goes into every weekend, wanting to win, obviously, and expecting to win. I think our group is capable of that, and I think we've done a great job, up until this point. I think we, as a company and as a 12th team, are way stronger than what we were at this point last year. Our cars are faster. We're gelling as a team better. So, I mean, we don't come to these places expecting to win. We just come to try to do our job the best that we can do our job. You execute well on pit road. Do you try to make more good decisions than bad decisions out there? You're obviously going to have some moves that don't work for you, and that's just the way it is. But you just have confidence going to these places, and it's the same as every week. I don't go to a certain place looking forward to it more than others. I look forward to every weekend and just trying to see, what we can bring to the track and how can we utilize our efforts and skills to the best that we can. And that's really all I ask for. Kind of a big thing on our team is do your job to the best of your ability. And if you do the best of your ability, you can at least, hold your head high, and whatever happens, happens. If you win, great. If not, you did the best job you could. And I think that's just something that we've kind of thought about through the last year and a half, 2 years. And, I think everyone's just kind of taken that a really good way of like, I want to give all of myself on this weekend and this day and see what happens to it. So, yeah.
Lee, did you have a question? Go to Lee.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and Catchfence.com. Ryan, they look at this race as unpredictable, but how are you looking at the Roval with the changes between 6 and 7? Have you done any sim work on that or seen walk the track?
Yeah, I haven't walked the track. I have done sim work. Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, the front stretch chicane is a little bit tighter. I don't think that's the biggest change. Obviously, like 5, 6, 7 is the biggest changes. And I don't know. I think you opened up a passing zone in 7. It's going to be kind of a dive bomb central corner for sure, just the way it's shaped. So that'll be interesting to see kind of how it races, and you're going to have to drive that corner very differently if you kind of have pressure or not behind you. And honestly, I think the front stretch chicane, it's going to be more, it's going to be a slower corner, so I feel like you might have some more outbraking potential there. So I think it's good. I think it's good they changed it up. Whenever you add passing zone, that's good for a race. So yeah, I mean, it's the same for everybody. It's going to be different for everyone, and just who can adapt to it the quickest. But yeah, I've done some sim work. I got another session this week, and see where it goes.
You're pretty solid in the points, but do you want to know, since that's a cutoff race, where you are at, crucial parts of the race?
Yeah, I've always, I look at the points before the weekend. Okay, this is where I'm at. I don't really look at the points again. And then through the race, you kind of give me updates like, where's it looking after stage 1, after stage 2. And then after stage 2, you have an idea, okay, I'm racing these guys. These folks have gotten this amount of points. I'm here to the cut line. This is kind of what I need to do. We did the same thing at Bristol. Like, after the first 2 stages, they said, hey, okay, you got to finish ahead of this guy or X amount of positions. And, okay, that's the rest. We're done talking about it. So, yeah, I don't want constant updates, but I'd like a little bit of feedback of just after every kind of break in the race with points and stuff. And the Roval always gets kind of funky with, people flipping stages and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully we're in a good spot leaving tomorrow to where we can just go have to, have a solid race at the Roval and not have to hit a home run. But if we have to hit a home run, then I'm sure we'll do everything we can to do that. Welcome.
Go to Steve.
Hey, Ryan. Steve Post, Motor Racing Network. The evolution of these races into fuel mileage events. Where did that start? How have you gotten your arms around it? What was your initial take on it? Just how have we gotten to the point where we're at with these drafting style racetracks?
That's a great question. I'd love to tell you how or why it's gotten this way. It just has. Like, do I like it? No. I don't know if anyone really likes it. Having it's kind of just turned into a gas game. The first run of the stages to where, hey, I can take a second less gas or a second and a half, 2 seconds less gas than this guy, and I'm going to jump him, on a caution or green flag stop. And I think it's just gotten this way mainly because it's hard to make up spots anymore. Like this car is so draggy that the third lane, especially here, Daytona's better because it's more handling, but here handling's not a big thing, so the third lane just kind of hurts. The bottom lane isn't lifting like you have a turn 4 at Daytona, to where the top can kind of get rolling late in a run. I feel like you just got to take drag off these cars at these places to just where handling becomes a little bit more of an issue. The top can go a little bit better. So now if like you're mired back in 20th, I'm not going to the front, so I might as well just try to be more efficient with fuel save than the next guy, and I'm going to jump him on the stop, So, yeah, it's just that's the strategy, and that's the easiest way to make positions, and that's just the constant thing is, I'd say the last year everyone's gotten smartened up and how everyone's doing it. I feel like we were one of the first groups to kind of like, okay, this is a good strategy, let's do this, and now everyone has a good idea about it, so now, okay, how do you still do it better than the rest of the folks, which that's hard to do. So, yeah, it's just I think the cars are draggy, hard to make up positions on the track, and they almost drive too good here to do that. So, yeah, just the game we're playing now. It's just can you do it a little bit better than the next guy? Yeah.
Come up front to Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Ryan, I have two for you. First off, going back to what you were talking a minute ago about the team, you had said coming into the playoffs that this team is much stronger and in a much better position than last year. So after 4 races, just how do you feel right now about where you guys are and what you've been doing?
I feel great about our group. I mean, it was hard to see how good we were because we got, wrecked, I think, in the last, 40% of races. Like the Glen, we didn't even get a run. Darlington, we were great, got wrecked on lap 2. Daytona, got wrecked at the end of that race. And our speed has been great. I mean, I look at the other races from, Atlanta and Bristol and Kansas, we've been running top 5 every week. So I think our speed is great. We had a little bit of execution issues on pit road last week, but you hope to clean all that stuff up, and they work hard to try to get that better. But no, I feel great about where our group's at. It's just a matter of kind of staying out of trouble and just controlling the things we can control. But I love where we're at right now, pace-wise. I think for us to run as good as we did at Kansas last week really showed that's a place where we've struggled as a company ever since this new car. And for us to run as good as we did, I mean, myself was fast, Joey and Austin were great before they had their issues as well. And luckily we got, we were able to have a good finish out of it. But, yeah, I feel good about it and just try to keep going. We'll see.
To go in a different direction, how different does your off-season and your routines during the off-season look compared to what you have to do during the year when you're a race car driver on a weekly basis?
I don't know. I mean, I'm lazier in the winter for sure. I drink a little bit more. But I think it's just I enjoy the off season. It's a long year. I just like to relax and just kind of unwind and kind of get your mindset is so different. Like in the competing months during the year of just you're constantly on kill mode and you're just as a competitor you're trying to figure out ways to better yourself or outsmart the competition. The fire in you is lit all the time, and in the off season I try to turn that off. Like I have no reason to be competitive in the winter. Like I'm not competing with anybody, so I just try to you just mellow out a little bit in the winter and enjoy things maybe you can't enjoy through the year. So I don't know if I'll be able to relax too much. I get married, so it'll be full blow. Focused on that when Phoenix is over. But yeah, I don't know. I just turn the competitive nature off, and just let your mind kind of rest a little bit. Your mind's pretty tense through the year, and so I think it's nice to get that just breath, of just relaxation for whether it's a month. It's still nice. It's better than nothing. So.
Okay, we have time for one more, and we'll end it with Holly.
Hi, Ryan. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. I wanted to ask you why you think it's been so tough for somebody to win consecutive championships. Is it the tracks changing in the playoffs? It's been a while since we've had somebody win back-to-back. And it sounds like you feel pretty optimistic about things anyway right now.
Yeah, I don't know why. You haven't seen a repeat champion back-to-back, since Jimmy, right? Yeah, when he won 5 in a row. So I don't know why. I think that was just one of those rare instances, right? Like Jimmy winning 5. And who was the person before Jimmy to win back-to-back? Was it Jeff? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's tough to do. Teams are always getting smarter. It takes everything kind of perfect to go your way. Your team has to execute the best they can, and you have to have a little bit of fortune on your side to not be in any unfortunate circumstances through the playoffs. So yeah, I don't know why. I look back. There's been plenty of teams good enough to be able to win back to back, and it just hasn't happened. And I think that just shows you how hard it is to do. It's a lot easier, I feel like, to win back to back in other sports because you're 1v1 pretty much winning these games. And racing, there's so many other competitors. It's like trying to win the Masters back-to-back. Like you're competing against so many other people that it's just hard to do it perfectly 2 years in a row. But yeah, obviously I'm confident with our group. And that's not from a cocky or arrogant standpoint. It's like I have faith in our group that we can do it, and we're good enough to where we can do it again. And I just have so much faith in our team our guys. So, yeah, I mean, I'd like to, obviously. I think we're in a good position. We just got to keep doing what we can and just keep staying hungry. It's funny. I think we're all even hungrier for a second one than we were the first. I said it in an interview somewhere of like, it's almost like you taste the forbidden fruit and you want another bite of it, and you want that feeling again. You want to share that moment with all your folks that work hard with you week in and week out and through the years. So, yeah, hopefully we can break that trend. We'll see.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ryan.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks,
the time.
everybody.
Good luck tomorrow.
Who's next?
All right, there's the checkered flag. Great job, driver.